What's going on, everybody? RJ Ochoa here from SB Nation's bloggingtheboys.com. Hope all is well wherever you are. We hope you're happy, safe, healthy, and that you enjoyed day one of the 2024 NFL Draft. We're going to get right to it. The Dallas Cowboys have a new player, even though they traded back from their original selection with the 29th overall pick in the 2024 NFL Draft. The Dallas Cowboys selected somebody that was mocked to them a lot in the pre-draft process. Oklahoma tackle Tyler Guyton. First things first, Tyler Guyton still a bit of a raw prospect, but somebody who a lot of people project to be somebody who could be, one of the better tackles in the NFL. This is a really exciting thing for a lot of reasons. Obviously, look, there are a lot of people who believe in Tyler Guyton. That's one level of excitement. Obviously, the Dallas Cowboys have a high level of success and a very prominent track record when it comes to drafting offensive linemen, particularly in the first round. If you go back over the course of now the last decade and a half, really, you've got Tyron Smith in 2011. You've got Travis Frederick in 2013. You've got Zach Martin in 2014. Obviously, you got Tyler Smith a couple of years ago. The Dallas Cowboys know what they are doing. And even when it's other players who aren't in the first round, you look at Terrence Steele, what the Cowboys have obviously developed him into. Tyler Biadasz, who left in free agency this year, obviously was a fourth-round pick and developed, obviously, into somebody who the Cowboys relied on to a significant degree. But this is about Tyler Guyton, and he is somebody who can come in, and I don't want to say be an immediate day one starter, but somebody who can come in and really help the Cowboys in a lot of senses. He was rated number 27 on Dane Brugler's overall big board. Dane Brugler, of course, one of the very best draft analysts in the business. The Cowboys did get him with the 29th overall pick, so some value there. Reading from Dane's summary on Tyler Guyton, if you don't have the Beast with your athletic subscription, you're really missing out. This is his kind of final line. Overall, Guyton is a work in progress in several areas, and a steep learning curve should be expected for his rookie season, but he has the athletic tools and fundamental skills to develop into a high-level offensive tackle. He has the talent to play left or right tackle, although his comfort level is clearly on the right side. That's where he played most of his career at Oklahoma. As long as he stays motivated and healthy, he will continue on an upward trajectory. So the Cowboys are getting somebody who they can really mold, who they can really turn into somebody that can be a part of the future of this offensive line. We know that Tyler Biadasz is gone, as mentioned. We know that Tyron Smith is gone. We know that Zach Martin is much closer to the end of his career than the beginning. So the future of this whole thing here really is about the Tylers, Tyler Smith and Tyler Guyton. Now, it remains to be seen, obviously, exactly where the Cowboys are going to want to play Tyler Guyton. You could talk yourself into, obviously, him playing at left tackle and Tyler Smith at left guard and Brock Hoffman at center and Zach Martin at right guard and then Terrence Steele at right tackle. If you really wanted to get crazy, you could revisit the conversations we had about a year and a half ago when Jerry Jones hinted at Terrence Steele playing left guard. Then you could kick Tyler Smith out to left tackle and put Tyler Guyton at right tackle. But that seems a little bit too extravagant for my money. My assumption, again, an assumption, would be that Tyler Guyton is going to be your left tackle. So from left to right, again, from last name standpoint, because it's so confusing, you'd have Guyton, Smith, Hoffman, Martin, and Steele. And that is something that you can work with. That is a legitimate step forward to a new future in the trenches where the Cowboys have had a lot of success. And a lot of the success the Cowboys have had in an overall team sense has been as a direct result of having stability along the offensive line. And Thursday night's overall process was a huge step in that direction. And I say that because the Cowboys entered this draft, and we talked about this a lot, certainly in the video that I did earlier on Thursday afternoon. If you haven't subscribed here yet to the Blog on the Boys YouTube channel, what are you doing? Please consider doing so. But I talked about how my ideal scenario, I called it my nirvana, was the Cowboys trading back in the first round, walking away with JPJ, Jackson Powers Johnson, who didn't go in the first round, still is an available option for the Cowboys and for everybody, obviously, for that matter. And we'll talk about players that the Cowboys could target early on Friday here. So again, please subscribe to the YouTube channel and be on the lookout at blogontheboys.com for a list there as well. But he was my nirvana because I wanted the Cowboys to come away with somebody who wasn't necessarily raw like this. And I understand that the Cowboys like the qualities that Tyler Guyton presents, and I'm okay with that because while I have a lot of problems with the way the Cowboys operate, if there's one area where they have earned the benefit of the doubt is with regards to developing offensive linemen. So, okay, great. You're going to go down this Tyler Guyton path. And for what it's worth, if you look at mock drafts all over the place, and obviously the final mock drafts are what you can really put a lot of stock into, Peter Schrager of NFL Media had the Cowboys taking Tyler Guyton at 24. Daniel Jeremiah of NFL Media had the Cowboys taking Tyler Guyton at 24. Obviously, way back in the whole process of the NFL draft, a lot of people had the Cowboys taking Tyler Guyton at 24. But the Cowboys did not take Tyler Guyton at 24. They took him at 29 because the Cowboys did trade back. Shout out to the hometown team, the team that is hosting this whole thing, and the Detroit Lions. They came up. The Detroit Lions wanted to get their cornerback, so congratulations to them. They wanted pick number 24. The Cowboys dropped down 5 spots. So what the Cowboys sent Detroit was their 24th overall pick and a 7th round draft pick next year in 2025. Next year's like 5 years from now. You don't have to worry about it. But in all seriousness, the Cowboys are projected to receive a number of compensatory selections in 2025. What is a result of obviously all the free agents leaving this particular offseason. And so the Cowboys will have a lot of day 3 picks to work with next year. You can kind of bank on that already. So we predicted that the Cowboys would maybe use some day 3 capital in the future, picks that they currently have their own, in the name of moving up, in the name of doing this, in the name of doing that. So the Cowboys sent 24 and the 2025 7th to the 313 to the Detroit Lions. Meanwhile, the Lions had to overpay to come up 5 spots. The Lions paid the Cowboys the 29th pick, which ultimately became Tyler Guyton, and a 3rd round pick this year, number 73. This was a huge win for the Dallas Cowboys, just the trade in and of itself. I mean, the trade is massive because it gives the Cowboys another top 100 selection. Prior to Thursday night, the Cowboys only had 3 of them, obviously including 24 overall. And now the Cowboys have 3 just on Friday night alone. If you're curious, the Cowboys, obviously, let me pull up my fancy list here, obviously have Tyler Guyton in their hand already. They have pick 56 in the 2nd round, and they have 73 and 87 in the 3rd round. So they got a better 3rd round pick than their original. And that is a big win. I mean, the trade is an A+ just on its own. Then you get a player who a lot of people were going to be satisfied with at 24. And again, that would have been a little bit of a reach relative to at least Dane Brugler's overall rankings because he had him as the 27th player. But so you get better value on Tyler Guyton. Yes, you let Graham Barton go, fine, whatever. But you get somebody who you believe in, who you can develop to be a prominent, hopefully, left tackle of the future. Put him next to Tyler Smith, and suddenly the left side of your offensive line is gangbusters and something that you can really, really, really bank on in the future, whether it's Dak Prescott playing quarterback for you or somebody else. So I think that when you kind of contextualize the night and you talk about the Cowboys trading back from 24, it would have been very easy for the Cowboys to sit there and take Graham Barton out of Duke. I know there are a lot of people who wanted that to be the case, but I will give them a lot of props. I've been saying how, look, I've been, just so anxious for the Cowboys to do something positive so I can give them some kudos. I will give them a lot of kudos for not reacting emotionally, for staying objective, for not letting, everything happening in the moment get to them and saying, what, the best move for us is to trade back. And we can sit here and we can moan and groan about how we got to this point, but at this point, it's now about survival and it's about making lemonade with what we have. And the Cowboys on Thursday night in the 1st round of the NFL draft, they made lemonade. They turned something into something more, and they got Tyler Guyton in the process. It was an A+ operation night. I give them full total complete credit. Now, to be clear, their direct rivals had a great night as well. Obviously, the Eagles got their choice of cornerback with the 22nd overall pick, which is just unbelievable. The Giants got Malik Neighbors. The Commanders did finally get their quarterback and Jaden Daniels. And so there's a lot happening, but the Cowboys are a better football team as a result of Thursday night and are now in a position to be an even better football team as a result of Friday afternoon and Friday evening and Friday night. And they're in a stronger position to be because of what they did on Thursday night. So kudos, Dallas Cowboys. I will give you applause. I will give you props. I will give you your flowers because you absolutely earned them. Night 1, day 1 of the 2024 NFL draft was a smashing success for the Cowboys. They get my ultimate seal of approval. And look, there's a lot more work to be done, but you've given yourself more bites at the apple. So you've put yourself in a position where you have a higher likelihood, a higher probability of succeeding. And that's why we want to see you do all these things. That's why we get so upset about you not being active, because you have to give yourself as much room for error as possible. And the Cowboys did that. And in the process, still wound up with an incredible prospect who could be an offensive lineman for them for a decade, hopefully more, like Tyron Smith, ultimately was before leaving this offseason. This was everything we could have wanted from the Dallas Cowboys, and I am quite pleased. Who am I? I'm RJ Ochoa. You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, or Threads at RJ Ochoa, or on TikTok at RJ.Ochoa. You can check out all my work at bloggingtheboys.com. Please subscribe here to the Blogging the Boys YouTube channel, where we'll be active, of course, throughout all of draft weekend and all of the great beyond, because it is literally my job to talk about the Dallas Cowboys 24/7 365. I hope you enjoyed the first round of the NFL draft, and I can't wait to see you throughout the rest of it because it is hopefully going to be a lot of fun. Thanks so much for hanging out, everybody. We'll see you next time.